Lewis Hart for the Ring magazine. Always a pleasure to be joined with Caleb Plant here in Las Vegas on a big fight week. But more importantly, how's things? How are you?
Man, doing well. Just been in the gym, training, running, and everything I have going on with Revenge Tour, and then I got 2 kids at home too that keep me busy, and my wife. So it's been a busy time, but it's all good stuff. So
absolutely, it's a massive fight week here in Las Vegas for obviously a former opponent of yours, Canelo Alvarez, taking on Terence Crawford. I guess how do you feel, obviously, for a big fight in Las Vegas on Saturday night?
How do I feel it's going to go?
Yeah, just how do you feel about, I guess, the week in itself?
Yeah, the week. I mean, obviously a lot of fight week festivities, big energy, and it's well deserved, because this is a legendary fight that we got this coming up this Saturday. So excited for it, and we'll see. Terence is moving up 2 weight classes. I'm sure you guys have heard it a million times. One fight at 154 and spent the rest of his career at 47 and 40 and 35. Canelo, with everything he's accomplished, he's a great fighter. He's a legendary fighter who I also have a lot of respect for. So I think it's going to be a big weekend. I don't think it's going to be a snoozer, And if anybody was to make it a snoozer, it'd be Terence, right? Because he's a smaller guy. He gets hit, he may start moving around, but that's not in Terence's blood. One thing that I love and respect about Terence so much is that he's willing to go out on a shield. And that's something that I really respect about Terence is I know that he's willing to go out on a shield and make it a great fight if need be. But I think, with his skill and his strength and his ability and, everything else he's got going for him, I think he's going to make it a great fight. And everything that Canelo's got going, and doing, I don't think it's going to be a snoozer, like I said. So,
yeah. For yourself, Caleb, you're a world level fighter. You've been in big fights. There's no secret to you. So when there is a big fight in Las Vegas, is it hard for you to be a fan? Because you're partly yourself, I want to be involved in these big fights. How do you process it?
No, it's not hard for me to be a fan because I'm a boxing fan. I'm a student of the game, so I got a lot of love and respect for people like Canelo, people like Terence Crawford, and all the other greats in our sports who are still active. So, and not active. So, I'm a fan. So I like being a part of the big fight week energy, and it's their time to shine. So,
yeah. From you sharing the ring with Canelo, what was the one thing would you say that surprised you the most about him that maybe you didn't expect?
With all of his experience, just his relaxation, rarely seeming like he's trying too hard or, he's able to stay very relaxed. And I think that's a big part of, a fighter's success, how relaxed they're able to stay. Even when things start to get ramped up and amped up, staying cool and calm in those moments is a big key.
Yeah, because it seems to think a lot of the opinion, after the fight of yourself and probably the Bivol fight, that Canelo hasn't been the same since then. Do you feel like, especially in this fight, there is a certain disrespect towards Canelo's skills when people just say, look, he's just going to win based off size in this fight? Yeah,
I think the people who are saying that, though, they don't know much about boxing.
Yeah.
They don't know much about the X's and the O's of the sport, because to say that Canelo is going to win just based off his size, that it's almost like they're saying that because, sorry.
Yeah, it's cool. You good?
Them saying that it's almost like because he's just bigger. It's not who lands the harder punch, or it's not who punches harder. It's who lands the harder punch, and that takes skill, distance, timing, traps, experience. Just because you punch harder, it doesn't mean that you're going to win, or it's not why you're going to win, because you still have to land that hard punch. And Canelo's got a lot of skill and experience to be able to do that. He's not just out there winging any punches. He's setting traps, and he's methodical in the way that he goes about it.
I know you said you don't think it will be a snoozer, but if you look at it, do you think Crawford's best way to win is almost by making it boring?
It's hard to hear you, brother.
Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. I know you said you don't think it's going to be a snoozer, but do you think sometimes Crawford's best way to win could be to make it boring?
I think Terence's best bet would be to be on the outside boxing, or be all the way inside, but not necessarily just hang out in the mid-range, because Canelo's fast, he's explosive, he hits really hard, right? So him just chilling in the mid-range could be a good way for him to get caught with a big shot, as opposed to being smart and boxing on the outside and then picking his times and places to get all the way inside and go to work, whether it be on the body or taking angles, whatever it may be. I feel like, if I had a chance to, whisper at Terence, that would probably be my advice.
Yeah.
But Terence is where he's at for a reason. He don't need me to tell him. He's got a great team. He's a great fighter himself, and I'm excited to see it.
Before I do let you go, Caleb, I wanted to ask, what's next for yourself? Super middleweight division's moving quickly. You've got a new talent like Hamza Shiraz. Obviously, another fight this weekend, and Lester Martinez and Christian and Billy. So, I guess what's next for you when you look at the landscape of the super middleweight division?
Yeah, I feel like super middleweight division is in a great spot. A lot of big names, a lot of big fights that could be made, and I feel like I'm still here at the top. I still feel like my name. Sorry.
That's cool.
I still feel like, I'm in a position to give the fans and give boxing a lot, more big fights. So,
yeah, good stuff. Look, Caleb, good to speak to you. I appreciate you taking time, and hopefully catching up soon. Appreciate it. Thank you. Cheers.